All right, so last night we went to the theater to see Cruella. I had quite a few words about this after the show was over. Mike, I think you and I felt pretty much the same way about this, but I'll let you take the
Yeah,
reins first with your thoughts.
yeah. So when we first watched the trailer on this, I'll be honest, I wasn't interested at all after we finished watching it. I don't know. Just from seeing it, it looked okay for me. But I do gotta say, I was wrong about Emma Stone. When I saw the trailer, I thought, I don't know, she doesn't really seem fit in for plays Cruella. But watching her in the movie, I actually think she did a good job in it. I don't agree that she was the best actor in the movie or actress in the movie, but still, I think she actually did a good job of playing Cruella. Right there, I have to say, is the star of it for me, the Baroness. Actually had a really fantastic performance out of all of them, and I think she really helped the movie kept it going. Overall, yeah, the movie it was just all right to me. It really wasn't nothing special. I think one of the things about it is a lot of the characters it was just way too dopey and stupid. I mean, it just really came across as just way too silly for me, and it was just hard to really hard to really enjoy the movie at all. It was definitely tailored more to kids and dogs, which I can see, but it was just way too silly. And there were just a lot of things wrong with it as well, like you were saying earlier, like the music placement and the music itself. Like you said, there's no original soundtrack with this. They're just playing all these popular songs, and some of the songs they just don't fit well at all. Like literally, I remember I saw you in the movie they're playing Car Wash, and I just couldn't fucking believe it. I'm like, are they really playing that fucking song in this movie? It was just ridiculous, and it didn't fit at all with the scene. And it's like that with a lot of the pieces in here. I mean, it just doesn't fit, or just too over the top and it's just moving too fast. The scenes cut real fast from one another, and the mood, the mood, it just changes so dramatically, or sometimes it just doesn't make any sense, and that's a big problem with this movie as well. And just the story itself, sometimes it's just too ridiculous. It starts making sense as we go on more and more, but sometimes it's just absolutely just dumb, in my honest opinion. And like you were saying earlier, it's crazy how Jasper and Horace seem to be the smartest people in this movie out of everybody else. You really wouldn't think that, but but they really are. Oh man, there's just a lot wrong with this movie that I just really can't give it a thumbs up. Like I would have a better time if I didn't even bother seeing this at all. I didn't leave the theater happy. I didn't leave the theater satisfied. It was just an overall okay movie experience for me. I mean, I'll say the set pieces and the set designs were good, but it's like it's not even a surprise coming from Disney. I mean, I already knew that was gonna look good, but everything else is just it's just all right for me. How
Uh,
are you feeling about this?
yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. They made a lot of mistakes with this. A lot of the mistakes they made, it's like they didn't even pay attention to like what they were doing. Because like this movie, they had a lot of great ideas, and I think the best idea they had was the Baroness character, which is played by Emma Thompson. And Emma Thompson, she has the best performance in this entire movie. It really kind of shows that everything else is just weak. The actors for the most part they did a good job, but it's like the way the characters are written, particularly like Horace and Jasper, like that whole angle didn't really make any sense to me. Like the fact that they're supposed to be like her family and that she's known both of them since childhood. Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense because even throughout the movie, like when she actually becomes like she starts taking on this Cruella persona. Jasper is like he's like why are you treating us like shit? He stands up to her multiple times throughout the movie, and it just it doesn't really match up to the original animated film or even the original live action 101 Dalmatians. It's like they completely ignored that and said, "Fuck it, we're going to do our own thing." And it's like you can't really do that because this is an origin story. It's supposed to link up and match up with the first film, and it really doesn't in a number of different ways. And another thing is like the first half of this movie is just awful. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with a lot of the decisions that they made with the writing, but the first half of this is just terrible. So like part of the problem I had was like Cruella and Horace and Jasper. They're basically thieves. They go around and they steal shit. But then, like, you'll have scenes in the movie where it's literally like Mission Impossible, like they're trying to parody Mission Impossible. One scene they had, I think it was Horace and Jasper. They had a scene where they swooped down from the fucking ceiling and like swapped out a legal document, an employment like an employment document or whatever, so they could help Cruella get a job at this fashion. I'm not sure what it is, like a fashion store or something like that. That was bordering on stupidity, basically. And I couldn't really take that serious. They have another scene in here where somehow they get a hold of a garbage truck, and then she comes out of the truck wearing this designer dress that looks like it's made out of trash. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck did they get the truck from? You know, I'm not understanding this. And it's like it's almost as if Disney is asking the audience, just turn your brain off, just don't think about it. And I hate that. It's like because that shows that you guys didn't really think this through. And I had the same issue with the last Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet. That shit was written that way as well, where it's like you're introducing all these ideas, but then you're not the writing is not developed. Like these ideas aren't developed enough in the actual screenplay, and it shows on screen. It doesn't take much thought to see that you guys didn't really think a lot of this through, and so the audience, when the audience raises questions, it's just, oh, let's move on to the next scene and distract you with some CGI or a new character introduction or something else to make you forget about scene that you were just questioning. And there's a lot of moments like that in here. And another thing that was really throwing me off, and it was extremely distracting, was as you were talking about before, the music choices in the movie. The choice of music in here is just it's so off the wall and just random. Really, it really is just random because it's like you guys you have all these songs that you put into the movie, but first of all, there's too many of them. They're too frequent, and then on top of that, they're all popular songs that you've heard at some point, or at some point in your life. Quite a few of these the song choices that they had in here, like you'll see on commercials, and it's like it's clear what they were trying to do with the music choices is that they were trying to capture the time period of that, like that British rock, the revolution of British rock or whatever. But I think they went a little bit too far with that. It's like every other scene, they felt like the movie needed to have this music number, and I think there was like only one or two original songs for the movie itself throughout the entire runtime, and I think that was a huge mistake. It's extremely distracting every scene where you have this music that's playing, and I'm trying to focus on the characters and the dialogue, but then you have this music that's playing in the background or the foreground a lot of the time, and you can't focus on anything, and it's distracting, like I said. Another thing, they made some really bad choices with the Cruella character to begin with, like the fact that she was born with the white and black hair. I think that was that was fucking stupid. That was just dumb. No one is born naturally with white and black hair. If you know anyone that fits that description, please speak up now because I don't know a single soul who's born with mismatching hair colors. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. It would have made more sense if they wrote it to where she like dyed her hair or whatever, and that was her way of rebelling against society. I thought that's what they were going to do instead of what they actually did. like when they were showing the trailers, I thought like her natural hair color was the red, the red hairstyle, and I was like, oh, so she's a redhead. But then the movie is like, no, she was born this way. It was like, fuck off, you know.
Yeah, they really pulled that shit.
Yeah, they pulled that shit right out of their ass. Another thing that was like really hilarious, and we were both saying like they really just did that shit. Like they actually went there. Was a scene earlier in the movie. It's the death of a major character. Well, not really a major character, but a major character as far as Cruella's backstory goes. This death scene was just so it was so cartoonish that I couldn't believe like they actually did that. And then it's like later in the movie they pull an explanation out of their ass as to, oh yeah, this is the reason why that actually happened. This is the real reason. And it just felt like, oh, we made a mistake in the screenplay, but instead of going and writing a new draft, let's just throw this in here to try and cover that up. It's like we're not stupid. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like the later half of the movie, they didn't feel like going back and writing another draft, and so they just came up with a bunch of random bullshit to try and cover up the first half's mistakes. It really drags the movie down because this could have and should have been a lot better than what it actually is, and unfortunately like I said, they just went a little bit too far with certain decisions. And it seemed like this movie didn't really have the level of quality control that you would expect out of a major blockbuster film like this, especially for a Disney movie. And it's just another sign that the live action thing that the live action fetish that Disney is on, they're not really doing anything for the company
Yeah.
as far as like the quality and shit. I think the only live action Disney movie that actually worked was the Beauty and the Beast, and even that can be picked apart, from certain angles and shit. So this was extremely weak overall. The second half of the movie saved it, like, and I mean big time. Like it leveled out towards the end to where it's like, okay, that was okay, but it could have been a lot better than what it actually is. I do wonder, like, what was your favorite scene or character or moment, in here?
Mm. I'd say maybe my favorite scenes were, as crazy it was, I think one of my favorites was, surprisingly enough, I found it a little stupid at first, but then when I went back to go back at it, it was some of the revenge sections where she was trying to get back to the Baroness, where I think actually kind of worked out well. I think one of them was when the lighting starts going all over the wall and stuff like that, and even the concert itself. I actually found it that a little more fitted for the character with her rebellious act. I actually thought that was pretty cool. So I think those two that are the ones that pop up into my mind. It was mostly those revenge sections that come up. Some of the emotional moments weren't too bad, but they didn't really hit for me because, like you were saying earlier, her change into Cruella, it didn't feel right if it makes sense. Like it
Natural.
was so yeah, it didn't feel natural at all. So it didn't really hit me. I didn't really get that emotional impact that I was supposed to get. Even then, it makes sense because she just starts to become a complete dickhead to Jasper and Horace out of nowhere, and it's like uh, they really didn't do nothing to you, and they just been loyal nonstop. It's like they were really just trying to force it too hard, and I felt like you were saying earlier, the transition would be much more better towards the end. Because I don't know, it just didn't really, it just felt so off to me that it didn't really feel good to me at the movie at all. So yeah, I think that's why it didn't do so well for me. But pretty much since her whole transition wasn't really working out for me, I just think that those two scenes in particular were my favorite.
Yeah, so when it comes to the actual transition, like when she actually transitions from Estella to Cruella, it's like a light switch. Like it just flips on, and she's just like that throughout the rest of the movie. But there's not really a build up to it. It just happens. And then when Jasper and Horace, when they start complaining that, oh, you're being a bitch, you know, why are you treating us like this? She doesn't really like pull back like how you would expect her to. And then the movie gives like a weak explanation as to, you know, why she's acting this way. And she's like, oh, well, Estella didn't get anything done. Cruella, you know, is the person that's getting things accomplished, and it's like that's really a weak explanation, and it's a weak you know, transition for this character. It would have worked a lot better if, you know, she makes that big switch at the end of the movie, because that's what happened really with Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. He doesn't really become the Joker until the end, but the build up, you know, when he does become the Joker, you know, the build up for that moment was there from the start of the movie all the way up to that point. And in this, it's just it's something that just happens too quickly with the transition. And then even like some of the emotional scenes that they have up in here were very strange, like to the point of it almost like it's almost like they wanted you to laugh at it. But one of the scenes I'm go ahead.
No, I know what scene you're referring. Right here, that scene right there.
Yeah. The scene where she, I don't even know like really what is going on with that scene, because it seems like it's like they wanted you to fucking laugh at the shit. So it's like, guys, what did you actually watch your movie before you released it to the public? Because it really doesn't seem like it. You know, she's doing this monologue where she's talking, and the camera is focused on her, but I was sitting there wondering, like, who is she talking to? Like, what? I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who she's talking to. Like the camera, I expected like when she walked off, the camera would like spin around and show like you know where you know what she was looking at, what she was facing. And I thought it was like the grave of you know this character or whatever who died earlier in the movie. I thought that's who she was talking to, but that's not the case. Or it could have been the case, but we don't know because we don't see what she was actually looking at. So it's just weird. And then she just walks off, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, don't take her bike with her. Take it off.
Oh yeah, yeah. She left that shit there. It just was sitting there. I don't really understand it. And then the whole thing with
Yeah,
forcing Dalmatians into the movie, that didn't work either to me. Um,
it looked bad too.
yeah, I'm not understanding like what the whole point of the dogs was. It's like, oh, this is a Cruella movie. We got to have Dalmatians in here somewhere. But it seems like they did that as a weak means to say, you know, this is why she hates Dalmatians, you know, and it's like that doesn't really work because her whole problem throughout the movie is really the Baroness, not the dogs. So it doesn't really, like I said, it doesn't really work. And then the final scene, the end credit scene, or the scene towards the end of the intro to the credits or whatever, that also seemed like a weak, lazy way to try and connect the movie to the original animated film, 101 Dalmatians. It felt forced, and a lot of what's in this movie feels forced. It doesn't feel natural whatsoever. They could have done a much better job with this, and yeah, it's really hard to try and be excited for anything else live action that Disney does at this point, because they've just had dud after dud after dud, from The Lion King to Aladdin to Mulan. Mulan was shit. the live action remake or whatever. And this is just I don't understand. You know, the concept is good, but a lot of what's in here just is poorly thought out, poorly planned. It seemed like they didn't really have a plan throughout most of this, and they were just winging it and just throwing shit together and throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Most of it did not work, and you know, it only by the second half of the movie towards the end, or you know, leading up towards the end, did this really kind of come together. But it really came together as something that's deformed. By the end of it, it's like, you know, that handicapped person that you see on the side of the road, and it's like, oh, damn, I feel sorry for you, you know. uh, yeah, wasn't a big fan of this at all, and I really don't see any reason to watch this again. What about you?
I definitely don't see. I definitely see no movie to watch that's not a rent, nothing. I mean, it's just not an enjoyable watch for me at all. It's just okay. Like this movie just has no soul at all.
It
It's
feels
just,
it feels
it's
like a
just,
corporate product.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't feel like an actual vision from like an actual artistic vision from a director or anything. It feels like a product that was just thrown together just to make money, and that
Yeah,
was the whole point and purpose of behind it.
yeah,
You know, a lot of people when the initial trailers were coming out for this, they were saying like, oh, you know, this is going to be Disney's Joker, and it's like if you compare this to Joker, it's not even remotely comparable. Joker was a passion project, and this clearly was not. So they try and convince you otherwise that it is, but it's not at all. The writing is just extremely weak in that first half. So this is more or less a rental. You know, if you want to rent it and you know just watch it for one time viewing and then forget about it, that's pretty much what it's for. Unfortunately.
oh yeah.
So this lack of quality and just overall mediocrity with these newer Disney movies, it kind of bothers me because Disney, growing up, Disney, that name actually meant something, you know,
Yeah,
and it seems like they only put that care and attention into their animated movies, because
yeah.
back in I think April, I saw Raya and the Last Dragon, and I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was great. So I'm wondering like where's that level of quality with these live action Disney movies? It's not there. Yeah, it's not there at all. Yeah, any final thoughts?
No soul to this. It's pretty much just lifeless. I just don't see any reason why I would recommend this to anybody. It's just a waste of time at this point. I just got no love for any of the characters. There was really nothing that absolutely stood out to me. It's like you said. It looks like they were trying to go something serious in the trailer, but no. They try to go with this humorous tone a lot throughout the movie, but it wasn't working at all. It wasn't funny by any means, even though they're trying to keep it lighthearted as well. There was
Even
just nothing too much that worked out for me. What were you about
even
to say?
yeah, even the whole Jasper and Horace thing, like that didn't even make any sense because they have one scene where Jasper is like playing the guitar, and I'm like, so Jasper and Horace can do all this shit. They can break into any building that they damn well please. One of them can play music. Why are they sticking their necks out for this bitch again?
Yeah, shit makes no sense. Like Jasper and Horace in this movie, they can pretty much do fucking anything. They can get anything they want, and yet they're still living the way they are. I mean, it makes no sense. They can get out of pretty much any situation, so shit
They're,
makes no sense.
they're really the smartest characters in the entire movie, and that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
That should that should not be the case at all. It's a missed opportunity, really. I'm not looking forward to the next one, Disney. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all gonna just gonna be another flop.
Mm. I'm curious as to how this is going to do at the box office by the end of its run. Hell, by its second weekend, I'm curious as to see like how much money they rake in, because if it's a lot of money, then this is really just selling on the name alone rather than the quality.
Yeah.
But then
It
again,
just seems that's what they're going for.
yeah. But then again, people keep paying to go see those stupid ass Fast and Furious movies, so.
That is true.
Yeah,
I think actually, I was just browsing through and I was checking the comments. I think someone was actually defending them in the comment section too when one of your reviews. That shit was crazy to me.
defending who?
The Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, yeah. I had like two or three people trying to defend their stance on that franchise. Of course, they were removed from the channel. They won't be back. So I'm not even worried about that. Yeah, I don't like for stupid people to be on my channel. My channel is for a very specific audience. They can go and defend that shit on on someone else's channel. So you can defend and like whatever you want. Just certain things, my channel is not for certain people. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, we'll return for more discussions on movies. Whatever the next movie will be. I know for certain that I'm going to go see Black Widow when that comes out. So that one is definitely on my radar. Outside of that, I have to see what actually is coming out. So we'll see.
How does the saying go?